Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered. I am Marusu, and today we're heading off to a new dungeon. But first, I did some grinding in between the last episode and this one. I have enough money to buy the magics I want. I'm not going to worry about the level 4 magics right now. I will pick that up after the next dungeon. But I have enough for the level 3s that I want to get. For now, let's get that copper armlet because my thief stole it from a black mage. So, yeah, go figure. So I'm gonna pick that up, give that to him, not him. You. So Sifa has more evasion. All right, now, real quick, let's head up here. Oh, my bad. This way. And buy me some magic. All right. I kind of went over them a little bit in the last episode, but I'll go over them in more details here. Fira is a stronger fire spell, right? It's the level 3 equivalent of the level 1 spell. You'll have less charges with it, but it does more damage. Always nice to have that. Hold, I mentioned this paralysis is okay, but it's not an end all be all. Great ability to really use. Thundara, much like Fira, upgraded form of thunder. Want to grab that, and focus lowers the evasion of all enemies. If you find yourself missing way too much, even on random encounters, Fokara is actually a good ability. It will lower all their evasion, so you have a higher chance of hitting an enemy. It's good for just all around. You know, if your accuracy is not up to par for whatever reason. You know, there is enemies in this game with a higher evasion stat, and they could be hard to hit. Cure, a stronger cure spell. Always nice to have. Diara, again, stronger Dia spell. Dia and Fire will be useful in the next dungeon. There's not as much undead as there was in the Chaos Shrine, but there is still some. It could be useful if you want to use your white mage for magical attacks. Again, I'm going to just go with defensive for her. I'm going to give her Null Blaze, which will reduce the damage of fire attacks on us, which will be very useful in a dungeon coming up. And heal. I already established how much I love heal. It heals the entire party. Not much, but enough. I'm fully healed. And I should still have the sleeping bags from the last time I bought them, so I can just use that outside the dungeon. Alright, so now we're making our way to the dungeon. Want to go this way? You see that marshland to the left? That's where we want to go. This is a tarantula. It is a stronger form of the Black Widow that we encountered over by the Chaos Shrine at the beginning of the game. Careful, it can also poison you. So you're gonna want to take them out pretty fast. They shouldn't be a problem. Insect type enemies are generally low in HP and defense. You just have to watch out for that poison. Ugh. These fights can be annoying. Wolves are fast, and they can gang up on your people pretty fast, like they are doing with Sylpha. Please leave her alone. Guess they're deciding to not bully Arthur today. It's gonna be one of those everyone's gonna attack my black mage kind of days. Gotta love those. Oop. Got a crit there. Alright. Alright. It is down here. Alright. Now. Here's a tarantula again. Trying to flee. And I'm poisoned. Yay. Should have bought me antidotes. I think they can drop antidotes. Which they did not. I have 8 antidotes left. I should be fine so long as I don't, get in too much trouble. Alright, see that hole in the ground? That's a portal to the netherworld. No, I'm just kidding. That's our next dungeon. But there is a enemy in the marshlands that I want to try to find real quick. It shouldn't be too hard to find. It's not a super rare enemy. Nope. That's not it. Marusu with those crits. Ooh, there's some more crits from Arthur. Marusu's hitting 4 times now. Yeah, I believe you can hit up to 16 times in this game. I don't think you can hit any more than that. That's a wargwolf. If this takes too long, I'll probably just cut it all out. So excuse me if I'm quiet for a little bit. Nope. Arthur's almost at 300 HP. That's nice. I'm going to need him to be as strong as possible because the mini boss of this next dungeon is a pain. Quite possibly the strongest enemy that we will have faced thus far. I'm gonna have to heal. Yeah, and I'll pick up those level 4 spells after I'm done with this dungeon. I should have enough money for all of them then. Where are you? And there it is. I have finally found it. The Ghast. Another undead enemy. An upgrade of the zombie we saw earlier in the Chaos Shrine. Still weak to Dia and fire like every undead enemy in the game, and also not incredibly difficult. Very easily defeated. Alright, now it's time to... yeah, I'll pop a sleeping bag. I have 5 of them. Alright. In we go. Listen to that music. Alright. Well, you want to head up first. Here is a shadow, another undead enemy. Again, weak to Dia and fire. The shadow can be annoying. I'm pretty sure they can also paralyze you. They don't have a lot of HP. Like when Black Mages took them out. But if overwhelmed, they can become a problem. You want to go downstairs. All right, here's some scorpions. Yeah, there's 8 new enemies in this dungeon, though we found the tarantula on the outside of the dungeon. So if you're looking to fill out your bestiary, I will be covering the 8 enemies in here. You just saw the shadow. These are scorpions. They also can poison you. You really want to make sure that you are stocked up on antidotes. A lot of things in this cave will poison you, and I'm poisoned. Actually, in the hunt for finding that ghast, I got swarmed by a bunch of tarantulas, and they mowed down Marusu and Ophelia. I had to run on back to the town to revive them. Phoenix Downs are incredibly expensive, and I don't want to use them unless I'm in a dungeon. Unless I'm in a dungeon, I'm not going to be using antidotes. I'd rather just run back to town. Here's the first chest. It's a dagger. If you check your map right here, you can see there's 18 chests in this cave. You can't get all of them. Not yet. Spoiler alert, you need the Mystic Key. And speaking of spoilers, I do not plan, or I never will, spoil anything in this game or a future game that I am doing, even though the game is insanely old. Now, if I say spoiler alert for any reason, it's mostly just a joke. Alright, so there's 2 more enemies. We have the skeleton. Also undead, and the crawler, which is an upgraded version of the Gigas worm from earlier. You want to destroy the crawler first. Look at that. Crawler just did 6 hits, and it's paralyzed him. Yeah, the crawler can paralyze you, which makes you unable to act for a couple of turns. But yeah, if I say spoiler alert and then something beyond that, I only do that paralysis, unlike poison, does not stay after battle. It goes away. But yeah, if I say spoiler alert, it's generally a joke based around the fact of something that is pretty obviously seen coming. If I can't get all the treasures in a dungeon, either I can't go further in the dungeon, which is a spoiler, or I need the Mystic Key, which everyone already knows I need. Gil. You're gonna start finding Gil in chests around this time in the game, and that is why I didn't buy the level 4 spells yet, because by the time I'm done with this dungeon, I'm gonna have a lot of money, and I should be able to get most of them. Also, new enemy, a Blood Bones upgrade of the skeleton. Still destroy the crawler first. You don't want him paralyzing anyone. Had so many enemies try to flee, and not a single one succeeded. Should be 3 chests in this location, this lower floor of the upper path from the entrance to get. Alright, our next enemy is a green slime. These things are resistant to physical attacks. You don't generally want to use physical attacks on them. They are weak to magic. They have a very high physical defense, but they have almost no magic defense. These I will deplete my spell charges on, simply because they are a pain to actually fight. without magic. And down here is a Black Widow in its evolved form, the Tarantula. Down here is 2 more chests. There's 4 chests up here. My bad. 3 rooms, 4 chests. But that's everything in this upper area. And I believe this... No, this isn't our last. I think this is 6 enemies. Gargoyle. Think the gargoyle can also paralyze you or stone you, one or the other. Status effects, status ailments, and hey, look, someone actually succeeded in fleeing. Status ailments in this game are annoying. They are a pain in the batucus. Scorpions again, and poisoning Arthur. Ugh. Arthur's medical bill is getting insanely high. You would think that he would have an aversion to poisons at this point. Body's not fighting the disease. Yeah. Do that. There you go. Yeah, potions are starting to become less effective now. And this should be the last enemy that we have here. The Gray Ooze. Like its unlike its counterpart, this thing does not have a high physical defense. The game wants to trick you. It thinks like, oh, all these slimes and oozes have high physical defense, need to use magic. No, the Gray Ooze is he is resistant to magical, weak to physical. He is the polar opposite of his counterpart. So, magic on green slime, physical on gray slime. At least these guys don't have that. Criticals do ignore defensive stats. So you just saw right there, my thief Mursu got a critical, and he did full damage to the thing and killed it. Yeah, physicals will ignore defense stats. The Gray Ooze again. The oozes are annoying because not the oozes. The green slimes are annoying because they will eat up your. I want to go down this way. They will eat up your spell charges, which is not fun when you're in the middle of a dungeon. Do auto battle because it just speeds things up. Yep, 69. Nice. All right. Go down here. Crawler, skeleton, and bloodbone. Ooh. 19 hit on my warrior. Not good. I want to go this way. Not this way. Oh yeah, fun fact, if you are inside of a room, inside a thing, you can check all the other rooms. So I can see that there's a chest there, and a chest there. But if I move back. If I leave the room, I can't see inside of it. If you're looking for chests, it's a helpful thing to know. $109. So I'd want to go down here and get these 3 chests down here. Why him? Why Arthur? Arthur's back. Echo greens. That cures silence. I'm gonna have to start buying a high potion, so I'm running through all my potions. Alright, so we got this chest down here with a potion. Fascinating. Black Widow and a tarantula. About to say, if you get poisoned again. And he's paralyzed. Yeah. Like I said, get rid of that crawler first because he can paralyze, and it's gonna mostly be on your tank, the person you have in your first slot. And I got a broadsword. Anything in this place actually useful to me? Because he can't equip the broadsword. I mean, I found money. That's nice. 2 more scorpions. Ow. That hurt. Go away. Get out of here. I don't want to see you anymore. Right, and then another potion. Alright. Now. Dang it. Alright. I don't have the spell charges to deal with these guys. I do not have the spell charges. Go in here. Where we want to go is that staircase in the bottom right side. So once you get the 3 chests, head on over that way. More scorpions. I'll fight these guys. And he's poisoned again. Yay. Dude, I'm almost out of potions. I'm almost out of antidotes. Not today, green slimes. Not doing it. Down this way and go. Ouch. Alright. So now we are in this big room with 16 rooms. Right? Let's go into this first one. Also, there's bats everywhere. Alright, so yeah. You want to go into a room and you want to check to see which one has treasures in it. Every room can be entered with the exception of the bottom 4. You need a mystic key for those 4. The chest right there, surrounded by rocks, is your goal. Grab that one last. And try to avoid these things as much as possible unless you are really confident in your spell charges. Yeah, Phoenix down. That's nice. And everyone leveled up. Nice. Nothing in there. Gray ooze. Okay, attack these ones. The gray ooze are really simple. They go down really fast. Nothing in there. Yeah, no. Only because there's a green slime here. Also, be wary. While running away, it leaves you vulnerable. The enemies will have freedom to be able to hit you while your turns pass, and the game rolls the dice to see if you're able to flee. While that is happening, enemies have a higher chance of getting through your defense. As you saw, they did 26 damage to Arthur. I didn't use a potion on that. More gil. Nice. All right, where'd I gotta go? Not that one. No. All right, right there. All right, so the two on the left. Nope. Luckily, these guys are very easy to run away from, especially if you have a thief. Scorpion. Hopefully they don't. Ow. Hurt me too much. It was 4 scorpions that obliterated Marusu and Ophelia earlier while I was looking for the ghast. I only have 4 more of these. I have 1 more potion. A cottage, that's nice. And a potion, yay! Yeah. Always make sure you're prepared. There's nothing worse than running out of supplies while you're knee deep in a dungeon. These dungeons can take pretty long, and it could become a... I didn't have to buy those. Oh, whatever. They can become very long, and if you're caught with no supplies, it's gonna get dicey. Nothing in here. I don't want to go into the next one, so skip that and get the other 2. Ow. Sorry, something bit my arm. Paralyzed again. What are you guys doing here? Sorry about that. It tickled my nose. Hey, more gil. Nice. And 1 more chest over here. Then I have to go back to the other chest and prepare. Alright, so potion. Nice. That's what I'm going to need to prepare. You know what? It is time for that high potion. That's why I have it. Now, before you open this, make sure you are fully healed and prepared. I'm going to actually use my healing spell now. Yeah, and then just use a potion to top off Ophelia. Yep. But you cannot use sleeping bags, cottages, and tents inside dungeons, as you can clearly see right there. But you want to make sure that you are topped off, quick save before opening this thing up. Monsters. This game has monsters in boxes. Generally, any box with a good piece of equipment in it, or anything that has a key item in it, will have monsters. This box has a chance of giving you anywhere between 2 to 4 Pisco demons. I got unlucky. I am now fighting 4 Pisco demons, and I'm gonna see how well that works. Because these guys are hard. They are basically a mini boss. They are random encounters in the game that you find much later in the game, but you're fighting them now as a mini boss. And if you're lucky, you will only end up fighting 2 of them. I'm not lucky. So I have to fight 4 of them. They have the potential of also paralyzing you, and they have a lot of HP, and they hit hard. So you want to make sure that you're going in here prepared, like I'm about to do. That's not gonna work. Evasion. Let's give him evasion. You. Temper. Ouch. Please stop. Ophelia's got to heal herself. It is kind of bad that she's going so late in the battle, and she's dead. She got no experience. And that's something that could happen. I got very unlucky, and they kept attacking the same person. But now she's fallen behind. It's not too big of a deal. It bothers me a little bit, but I'm not going to stress over it. And I obtained the crown. Alright, so I have found the king's crown, and I have to return that to him. I need to bring her back to life. Yay. She's out of that. And now I have to make it out of this cave, because I don't have any way of just teleporting out. So now I have to walk out of this cave. Oh no. If I don't die, I'll see you back at the cave entrance. Okay, everybody. I am back outside of the cave. Yeah, that cave hurts. But look at all that money I now have. I have almost 15,000. Oh, in the last episode when I was showing you all the spells, the level 4 spells cost 2,400, right? So that's That's 10,000. No, my bad. That's 7,500 for one person, right? Two people, that'll be 1,500. I'm almost at the amount that I need in order to get all of that spells. That's why I didn't bother with getting it yet, even though getting it would have made that a lot easier. It would have been a very long grind. It took me a while just to get the 8,000 that I needed to get all the other stuff. Getting another 15,000 would have been a couple of hours, and I probably wouldn't have gotten this video recorded today. But that's the Marsh Cave. We're gonna end things here. In the next episode, we're gonna head back to Elfheim because we need to restock, re-heal up, and then we're gonna go deliver the crown back to the king in the Western Keep, and hopefully find a way to wake up the sleeping prince. Till next time, later.